Dear students, now let us continue with the next part of the Human Genome Project, that is methodologies. So, what are the ways by which Human Genome Project can be prepared or made? So, there are two important techniques involved in preparing Human Genome Project. The first one is called sequencing, and the second one is called as generation of physical and genetic maps. Let us try to discuss these methodologies in detail. So to start with, let me come for sequencing. What is sequencing? It's an important phenomenon of sequencing entire genomic DNA of human. That is, you will be studying in molecular basis of inheritance. That is, DNA is made up of nitrogenous base pair. There are four base pairs: adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. These four base pairs are arranged in different pattern to make DNA. So now in sequencing, we are going to study about this arrangement of base pairs in DNA. So this is what we call it as sequencing. So there are two important basic approaches or methods to sequence this base pairs. How that? First one is expressed sequence tagging method, which is shortly abbreviated as ESTS, express sequence tagging method. Second one is called as sequence annotation method. So let us try to discuss in detail about this two steps. So let me come for the first one of first method of sequencing the base pairs, that is express sequence tagging method. What is done in this? It involves identifying all the genes that expressed as RNA. My dear student, remember that DNA is a part of gene. Gene, when it is going to carry out function, it carries out function by synthesizing proteins. For synthesizing proteins, before synthesizing protein, what happened? DNA will give message in the form of RNA, that is mRNA. So therefore, our first duty is to identify the genes that are going to express as RNA, because you will be studying that human gene is a split gene, or humans are eukaryotic genes are split genes. What are that? Exons and introns. That is human gene, they contain two types, introns and exons. So exons they may code, intron they may not code. So of this, which is going, that is, we want to identify the genes which are going to express as mRNA. So this method of what can say identifying the genes that are going to express as RNA is called as express sequence tagging method. Second method, sequence annotation method. It involves all sequence, or it involves the sequencing of all set of genome that contained all the coding and non-coding sequence, and later assigning the different regions in the sequence with function. That is, in this method, we are not worried about only the genes which are going to be expressed as RNA. I told you human genes contain introns and exons. So in this method, first thing is we are trying to identify genes, whether they are introns or exons, that is immaterial. We want to know all the genes. Second thing is, after identifying these genes and after coming to know which are the coding regions, which are the non-coding regions, now we will separate them, and later on the coding regions, what is their function? So how they are going to be arranged to carry out a specific function. So this method is what we call it as sequence annotation method. So whether it is identifying DNA sequence in the first method, that is express sequence tagging method, that is only identifying the genes which are known to express as RNA, or second method, that is sequence annotation method. So the procedure is same. So what is that? Let us come for the mechanism of sequencing. So this involves the following steps. What are they? First one is the total DNA from cell is isolated. So how that will be done? You are going to study when you go for what we can call biotechnology. At that time, we are going to tell you how DNA will be isolated. That is, DNA is located in the nucleus of a cell on chromosome. So from that chromosome, DNA has to be extracted. So that's the first step. Second step is it is broken randomly into fragments of relatively smaller sizes by sonication. That is, here our DNA is quite long. So you cannot take entire length of DNA and try to find out the sequence. So therefore it will be broken down into small fragments, and this method is what we call it as sonication. About the sonication you'll be studying in biotechnology. Then the third important step is, now the fragments which are broken down, they will be separated by a technique called as agarose gel electrophoresis, or we call pulse field gel electrophoresis. What is this? That is, here in gel electrophoresis or in the phenomenon of electrophoresis, the DNA fragments will be separated based on their size. You again, with regarding to gel electrophoresis, the technology will be better understood when you study biotechnology, the first chapter. Okay, so that is very simple. The broken DNA fragments, when we put a subject to gel electrophoresis, the smaller size fragment they move faster, and bigger size fragment they move slower, so they settle at different location. So after that they will be separated. This phenomenon is called as gel electrophoresis. So now the broken fragments are separated by using agarose gel electrophoresis or pulse field gel electrophoresis. Next phase. Further, it is cloned with suitable host using specialized vectors. That is, what is cloning? To prepare identical copies of the DNA fragment, because with just one DNA fragment you cannot carry out research. So you want thousands or millions of copies of the DNA fragment. So that will be done by cloning. So cloning is preparing the identical copies of DNA, and this cloning will be done by using specialized vectors. What are vectors? So these are the living organism where the DNA is inserted and it will be multiplied. So usually the commonly used vectors are bacteria and yeast, and there are specific vectors like bacterial artificial chromosome and yeast artificial chromosome. That is, we are taking human DNA and inserting into the bacterial artificial chromosome, that is plasmid, or we are inserting into the yeast artificial chromosome, and they are allowed to multiply. When they multiply, even our human DNA which is inserted into it also produces multiple copies. You may ask why we use bacteria. Very simple, they have got short lifespan, and within a fraction of 30 minutes they are going to multiply enormously. So therefore, in a short period of time you can get multiple copies of DNA. So hence we are using the bacterial and yeast vector to multiply our gene. So therefore this is what we call it as cloning. So by cloning we get multiple copies of DNA fragments. Now the cloned DNA fragment is amplified. That is, let us say bacteria, you are inserting a DNA and you are getting multiple copies, might be let us say 1000 or 100. We want many millions copies of DNA. So that will be done by a process called amplification. So we have got a device called as amplifier. So if you insert this DNA fragment and feed them with specific enzyme DNA polymerase, so that will make millions or billions of copies of DNA within a fraction of minutes, or we can say few minutes. So therefore we will get multiple copies of DNA fragments. So that is what we call amplification. Then the next step is the fragments are sequenced using automated DNA sequence. The technique which was developed by a scientist called as Frederick Sanger, and they are arranged on the basis of overlapping regions present in them. That is, when you cut DNA, the DNA will be cut in a region called as palindromic sequence. So we'll be studying about this palindromic sequence also. So those are the regions where the two DNA fragments are cut. So they will be having overlapping regions. So based on this overlapping region, the DNA will be identified and they will be arranged, what can say, in that manner, and according to that you are going to get the length of the DNA. So this technique was developed by Frederick Sanger, and that has led for arrangement of base pairs in DNA. So therefore, thus we get continuous sequence of nucleotides for a complete chromosome or entire genome. So this is how we are going to arrange. Later on, by using specialized computer programs, we are, we can say, going to align these sequences and make use of them according to our need. So these are the basic steps that are, we can say, involved. Once you align them in computer, with the help of these computer based programs, as I told you, you can make use of them according to the number of chromosome and so on. So this is with regarding to the mechanism of sequencing the DNA fragments. So there are two important notes to be noted here. So this sequencing of chromosome 1, that is the HGP of human genome on chromosome 1, was completed on May 2006, and this is said to be the last chromosome to be sequenced. Why I am telling you this is, remember in the goal when we said, or when we studied about this human genome project, initially it was estimated to be completed in 2003, but the project got completed in 2006. So that is, the chromosome 1 was the last chromosome to be sequenced. Second important thing is about Frederick Sanger. So apart from developing the method of sequencing DNA, Frederick Sanger has also contributed for developing the method for determination of amino acid sequences in proteins. That is, first he tried to arrange DNA sequences required for protein synthesis. Later on, he also tried to find out how amino acids are arranged in this proteins form. So therefore, Frederick Sanger has given an important contribution in human genome project. So this is with regarding to sequencing. So let me stop at this. Next, we'll continue in the next